Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamek, this is Limbus Company Pilgrimage of Compassion. We're almost done. I'm probably going to have to stuff all this into one last episode unless this is an actual boss. At the center of what appears to be an arc symbolizing the city. At the end of the center of that brilliant golden light must be Mares. Let's take a quick break here. Are you alright, Doctor? I just need to take a quick breather. You probably should work on your cardio or Miss Mamiya might have to piggyback you around. Yeah, once we get back I'll start working out like Kaltse suggested. Executive Manager, if it ever comes to it, you may trust me with the piggybacking. I'm good. Perhaps being in close proximity to Mare's vision of utopia in the center of the light did something. Seaborns near us gave us only a passing glance without attacking us. Something about the way they looked at us felt like they were concerned about us. The sinners couldn't help but look away with a funny feeling. I feel sorrow, regret. Maybe these feelings are denials for all the time she spent agonizing over this. Can we really bring back Miss Mares? We'll help her return. That's what we're here to do after all. Alright, let's rest up for a bit before moving on. Take a moment to collect ourselves, then move on. We're going to lose all ISP, aren't we? After taking enough rest, we continued on toward the refracted light. Revive all dead sinners, heal any surviving sinners to max HP. No, we do get to keep RSP. Cool. Alright, Sloth and Gluttony, Mares, Fathoms. Yes, it is another day. On the upside, I can remember to adjust my party. I want people with death rights at the front. I wonder where the sloth comes into it. Mare's despair, the repulsiveness of people's ill intent, and the faint hope from the light found within. All kinds of emotions and memories rise to the surface of Amiya's fathoms, then sink again. Those same thoughts seep into me as well, unfiltered. The sins that people have committed won't just go away. Humanity's ill intent will propagate unimpeded too. No wait, no. But the tides that Miss Mares is trying to summon to douse it will devour humanity, their civilization, and the city where they came from. So, I don't think that's the right way to go. Not as long as Dante and the people of Limbus Company refuse. This isn't like the time I retrieved the ego. In the place of the light, a speck of darkness casts a shadow. Reach out into the darkness. A strange power courses through me. A strange power courses through me before radiating toward the sinners. All sinners gain emotional connection for the duration of this encounter. On hit against enemies, number of coins divided by 50. 50 divided by number of coins % chance to gain an ego resource corresponding to the skill's affinity. When an enemy dies after an allied skill attack, gain 2 of the least owned resource. In an encounter, gain 1 ego resource of each affinity consumed when using the following skills. 2 of each when using Overclocked. All of the fancy new ego. Gotcha. Let's start off with Thunderer to give ourselves a boost. Unclashable, this does not deal damage, gain Abyssal Vitality. Consume when using skill effects. Every time this effect is consumed, heal SP on self by the amount consumed. Ooh, this is nasty. The unfortunate thing is that because it's an unclashable attack, most people aren't going to be getting their bonuses. Let's just throw out weak skills or the unclashable ones. Yeah, whatever. Nope, this one.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 치워버리죠.
흐릿한 등화, 곱게 접은 종이에 번졌으니 식구의 하나에 용이 되어 빈 벼루에 남았구나.
タンタさんの作戦とても効果的でした。
Oh, actually, I should probably look at her passives, shouldn't I? The impatient ego's something.
バスカンパニーの皆さんとご一緒できて
The impatient ego's byway. Gotcha. This skill's panic type does not change when inflicted with an effect that changes panic types. In panic, reset to 0. Take 90% damage from burn, bleed, tremor, rupture, sinking, and gain 10 protection at turn start. Phototaxic procession. Consume abyssal vitality to summon Sea Terror Horde. If there are fewer than 3 sea runners or deep sea sliders, randomly summon either of those until there are some of 3 of them next turn. Consume abyssal vitality. If there isn't a founder, consume 8 vitality. If there isn't a spewer, consume 12. If Basin Sea Reaper isn't on the battlefield, consume 20 to summon it. Every time a Sea Terror is killed, take HP damage equal to the unit's max HP. At negative 50%, immediately end combat phase. Gain a new pattern. Disable the procession, so she disables the summoning. Gain 100 to vitality. When gaining this passive or recovering from stagger, gain shield equal to the amount of HP lost. When gaining shield, gain indelible compassion. When shield breaks due to getting hit... Oh, wait, this unit does not lose shield at turn end, so that's familiar. Unless removed by damage or effects. When the shield breaks due to getting hit, becomes staggered, gain fragile. When staggered due to raising threshold, gain fragile until next turn. Fragile gain due to this buff's effects does not stack. Shield HP can stack. When this effect is active, the shield HP cannot be more than 50% of shield unit's max HP. This counts as shield management. Apply 5 nervous impairment to everyone with less than 15. Rude. Gain fragile equal to the double number of times before the compassion they leave in worth its loss was used. Reduce this unit's skill slots by the number of staggered enemies every turn. Does not apply to turns when using a powerful skill. Weird, but okay. When on top of Nethersea Brand, gain final power, coin power, and double nervous impairment. When hit by a Basin Reaper skill. When hitting Basin Reaper skill. Convert it from standby to combat ready. Oh, screw that noise. Indiscriminate. Prioritize ally with the most HP. Deal 0 damage. Gotcha, so we need to make sure she doesn't get to use that. When you're targeting allies, heal her HP. So yeah, we have to make sure she doesn't get to use those sorts of attacks. Clashable Guard, consume abyssal vitality for every surviving ally, however, give them damage up. Clash Lose does not apply damage up next turn. Gotcha. Oh wait, there's guys getting free shots off. You get hit by Lord's Guard. Well, yeah, Lord's Guard will intercept that, so we should be fine. What can I use to get you dead quickly, is the thing.
자, 시비수에게 몇 점일지 잘 생각해보라고. 누구 하나 살려보내지 마. 고작 이 정도 평리의 허덕이다.
敵に対して 大きな打撃を与えました。
무상한 목숨. 불그대로 지원해.
명에 따라 공원을 지켜라.
We're gonna have to do this every turn, aren't we? We have forced, yes, we have forced special active.
불가 위야. 막아내지 못하리.
Oh, that's actually a lot of line breaker already. How'd that happen? Unfortunately, that was just the skill 3 he used, so he's not going to get to use it a second time. I'd like to use Gregor's skill, but it doesn't seem to want to... The problem is that I don't feel like we have enough turns to actually make use of that. It's going to attack randomly, which probably means that we're going to set this thing off. Unless we do that. Now on the flip side, this one is going to attack randomly and there's not much we can do about that. Yeah, sure, let's just accept that it's going to go haywire next turn and make sure the fastest person hits this thing. We have resources to spare, we can spam ego if we need to. Oh right, we need to intercept that clashful guard, don't we? I kept forgetting about it. Because it has the damage up. I guess the damage up isn't as bad an effect to give away.
체력도 팔아.
このまま行けば敵を食い止められます。
20 for the Basin Sea Reaper, so you could actually get through most of that by killing this thing if you wanted. Base power for every 3 nervous impairment on the target when targeting allies can clash regardless of speed. Clash lose, gain 3 power down, 3 paralyze. Lose most of the damage dealt by this skill. Halve the amount of nervous impairment, does not inflict sinking or sinking count. Halve abyssal vitality gained from the skill, gain 100 vitality. Generate Nether Sea Brand in their territory. And it also heals everyone, great. What is our best skill for this? Yeah, she's gonna wake up the Reaper no matter what I do. We need something really strong here. Unfortunately, Heathcliff decided to roll last. Which is a shame. No, I can't give away the Serpent Shear Puncturing Arm, it's too good.
불가 위야 막아내지 못해. 틈틈 이제 깨치시길.
그쪽만은 아닐 텐데.
適した攻撃でなくとも最善の選択だったはずです。
Oh, if only Ishmael had gotten to go before Gregor. Then he could have maybe gotten some PS power up. Oh well.
모든 것에 견뎠어.
敵は深手を負っています。
And because we triggered the thing after her attack, the brand is back, darn it. Why did I forget about that? She's getting a bonus from being in the brand. I don't like it. Remind me, what are your stats like? I was hoping that he had something that could get the bonus effect, so... Yeah, her waking this thing up has screwed us over a little bit. because now she has more attack speed than we do. Although I guess we don't need to intercept that attack. When hitting an ally, oh yeah. Apply offense level this turn and every turn after. I can't let her have that. I'll just have to accept that it's hitting Gregor and speeding up his scabbard.
일기당천. 목을 떨고 주마.
Oh, actually, I should probably use his ego for the thunder effect, shouldn't I? Use that for a reason, guys.
이 스며들 듯한 비 우산이 새진 않는 모르겠어. 나는 이 왕자의 묶여 혼돈치 않는 자일지니.
多数討伐確認
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데. 혈염도 바로.
Aww. Tails.
맨날은 당신에게 파도는 반드시 밀려올 테니.
I guess that's phase 2. You've aged a lot since the last time we met, Fabi. Is this a characteristic of your subrace? You haven't aged a day. So, what brings you to the Church of the Deep? Seaborns are indispensable in our preparation for the impending doom. Nothing else can ensure the survival of humanity. Thus it would only be right for me to join hands with those who are able and willing to become Seaborns, to search for a way to prolong our existence. You're looking to use the knowledge of the wise and talented as nourishment for Seaborns. But that won't do anything more than prolong our existences. But is survival alone not enough? I thought a bishop of the church would share a majority of that belief with me. Fabi, you and I have both put our faith in the Seaborns, but the word faith might mean something different for you than it does for me. Seaborns shouldn't be our object of worship. We have to stand on equal ground as them and set our eyes on their natures. Please, step aside. Desperation, sadness, sympathy. Mare's emotions gush upward, carried by bubbles. Terra, a land in which the hatred for the different has entrenched itself. The city, a place in which people, crushed by the trials of life, have surrendered to its absurdities. They both need the Seaborns, perfected beneath the light. That is but your wish, Miss Mares. Force does not believe them to be necessary elements for the city. Even in the city, there are people who are searching for reasons to live on, dreaming of a better world. We all know that it can't possibly be easy to change, but there has to be some kind of worth, value in that process alone, the lives we lead within the city. What worth could there be to a life of the unkind? The life of humanity is doomed to exist in, where all we ever do is hurt and hate one another? Listen, efficient order, natural altruism, they're both virtues humanity should never lose sight of. But there's no such thing as absolutes when it comes to the value of life. Survival is the right of all civilization, which means that it should never be up to others to define the worth of life. to argue for it. But what if there's no other way? Can you even understand what I'm saying? Some time had passed since I made Ferro Muerto my home. Unlike my prediction, the Seaborn's evolution seemed to have lost its explosive progress, and Fabius seemed to be content just observing their slow development. Maybe because they're directionless without a specific wish. Even still, the Seaborns were the key to changing Terra, the land. To stand against the incoming calamity, we needed their survivability and adaptability. And the humanity that has turned exhaustion into ill intent needed the Seaborn's blind, selfless altruism toward their own. So, while I never stopped my studies, something small but sharp continued to stab at my frustrated heart. Stultified and unable to be resolved. If we were even to lose even our sense of selves and creed, assimilated into this stagnated great will. For the sake of survival, civilization had to be no more. For the sake of us, I had to be no more. The realization of that paradox made the first crack in my confidence that Seaborns were the answer to the problem Liberia, the land and humanity faced. And through the cracks, the seeds of doubt were sown. But I'd already come too far to find a path more beautiful than the Seaborns. No more wasting time with these stupid ruminations. There has to be a way. Some kind of condition Seaborns need to fulfill to retain their sense of selves, to retain their individual hopes and wishes. I stood adrift atop the inundation of years I dedicated to this purpose, holding on to this precious hope and steeled my shaking heart. And that was the easy part. There are no better solutions. Don't look away from the answer that lies right in front of me. All I need to do is find a way for the Seaborns to hope and wish, to have them each carry a sense of belief. I just had to repeat that to myself like a mantra, again and again. But my drifting days came to an end when I found a new path, illuminated by strange light from across the sea. On that day, yes, the day when that faint blue light shone, a whisper visited me. Who's there? Whose voices? What? The answer, sought through the eons by people I didn't recognize, played over and over in my ears. The voice that spoke it was muffled but warm and beautiful. The light of the city. The hearts that were lost, the emotions that were forgotten, the sense of self that... No, that's enough of that, but I'd like to hear more about the light. The light that has sprouted from the 10 virtues. The image those words drew in my mind was clearer and more beautiful than ever. Terra, the city, they've both failed to find a way out of this bridle. If they're going to be satisfied with living on as they are, then... You can't change what you see by standing still. If you want to bring about a better world, then, even if you may be lost in the ideals, you have to keep walking. Survival. Worth of life. As I've never been too certain about either of those complicated ideas, I had no unflinching creed from which to convince her. That's not to say that the city has no need of the altruistic nature Mayers wants to bring there. That's not to say that I have a better answer than the combination of Seaborns and the light. Even still, the emotions, the regrets, the conversations I found and collected over this journey alongside the sinners become my answer, and I tick on. Honestly, I don't really know the city all that well either. My memory only goes back a year, and for what is practically my entire existence, I've been surrounded by the sinners and our adventure. Still, we want to keep trying. You're right, the city is an absurd, vicious place. Something new and horrible surprises me every other day. But, Mayers, that light you spoke of, I don't think that's what protects the ego, the sense of self. To protect it, you have to first look unflinching both ways, the path that lies ahead and the one you've walked. Then you confront them both. We do have Hokma and Bina's abilities, so we would have their resolutions. That can't be right. The light, it has to... You're just working based on what you've heard about the city and the light, ain't that right? How can you be so confident that the light will be able to protect the Seaborn's sense of selves? Ain't that just what you want to believe? I think it's a distinct possibility. Even if the light can do what you hope it does, Mares, it won't change anything. Turning our nature's kind by transforming us into Seaborns, a convenient method like that isn't our path. Because the sense of self, protected like that, the kind nature attained like that, wouldn't be our own, it'd be yours, Mares. Protecting your own sense of self while being compassionate and kind, it's a path of unbearable suffering. We might fail some days despite our best efforts. Some days we'll be forced to confront the sins of our past and suffer. Verily, not one of us as we are now may see the culmination of that path. Yet, I can hardly find it within myself to simply leave it all in thy hands without so much as trying. You're saying that Seaborns can't be the answer I've always sought. It doesn't make much sense if you think about it, Mares. Those sea monsters don't even know what self means. That's why they show no hesitation before sacrifice. If you were to introduce the sense of self to those sea monsters, that selflessness you want will be no more. She's a Seaborn-shaped distortion who is not a Seaborn, an endlessly anguished contemplating distortion. If Mares wishes to achieve an altruistic world, then her desire has to be that she doesn't want her efforts to become meaningless. Seaborns may be the perfect answer for some people. A recent example, Fabius, seems clear to me that was precisely his wish. But that doesn't seem to align with yours. Find a new answer, Miss Mares. You're telling me I have to go back to wandering for so much time again, in search of that new answer? You won't be alone on that path. Walk it together, relying on one another, and it won't feel as long. Trying to carry such a heavy burden all by yourself, Miss Mares, it's such a prideful thing to do. Okay, I'll see you in a bit then.